probably throughout a lot of industries, there's not a lot of courage when it comes to trying new things, because you're going to have to try 10 to get one, right? Or whatever the numbers might be. But so clearly there must be a tolerance for finding things that don't work and having to continue to look for the things that.
And I think it's almost, not to say a venture mentality, right? I don't think it's fair to overlay a venture mentality across the entire organization, but where you have smaller groups who are tasked with and directed to have a venture kind of, we'll even call it venture intel, not even venture investment, but venture intel.
Yeah.
Get out and learn as much as you can about these areas. What do we need to be doing? Let's build consensus on if this is something we want to sink our teeth into. I think that encouragement to explore and to be curious is a huge part of why we've been able to do what we've done in such a short period of time.
I don't think that can be underemphasized.
Right.
Lisa and I are in conversations all the time, and we're sort of in this in-between spot of, we have a really good view of new venture across retirement and the wealth side. We understand the big brands as well. Again, kind of the whole four-wheel drive episode here. We've been on both sides. And some groups just don't have the wherewithal or the willingness to be curious, and they kind of get stuck with I don't have goals and I don't have tactics that can show that this is worth it. So they just don't do it. How do you define success in an exploring world? And what would be your advice to either side, either the new venture, but really the enterprises that know they want to learn more because they want to keep their competitive edge, but they don't quite know how to position it to get the funding or the leeway to do some pilots or experiments?
It's a mix of having very clear goals and definitions around what success looks like. And then it's having an internal champion. I think those are the two big things. So if we kind of break those up, as an asset manager, as a record keeper, as just a voice in the industry, I think it's easy to say, what success look like? Well, it's more assets. It's, more FaceTime with clients. It's more of a leading voice on things like venture. And some of those are hard to quantify and some aren't, right? Increasing assets is very easy to quantify, right? To the extent where, hey, we started this program 3 years ago and we've seen an increase in whether it's workplace assets or assets across the complex, that's kind of easier to point to. What's a little more difficult, but in some instances more impactful to a degree outside of dollars and cents is, instances like this, where you have access to new platforms, a voice maybe where you didn't have one before. Just as a function of what we've learned from our time in workplace strategic growth, we're asked to speak with clients. And those clients, again, to your point, Lisa, is a wide, definition. We're asked to share our findings with record keepers, with other asset managers, with industry groups. We're being asked to talk to our clients' about what we're finding, right? So there's the kind of the hard number. Hey, did we bring in more assets? But then there's this whole other side of the equation where we're getting, access to clients and prospects and opportunities that we would not have gotten if it weren't for this work.